Informed by research, powered by athletes, and inspired by stories. I'm your host, Dr. Brett Ball, and welcome to Ballin' with Brett, the podcast.
You learn how to fight through adversity. These are all things you need in the real world.
Like, I felt like I was really supposed to be the one to change my family's life.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Ballin' with Brett. I'm Dr. Brett Ball, your host, and today's guest is a former Ole Miss women's basketball standout and professional women's basketball athlete whose journey is just nothing short of inspiring. Grounded by her faith, she defied the odds, balanced the demands of sport, motherhood, life, all with just true grit and grace. She's not just a competitor on the court, but a living testament of strength, sacrifice, and can I say divine timing. Amen to that. I know you are not. And trust me, this is not a story you want to miss, but something you really want to lean into. I'm so glad to call her my true friend, Armintie Price Herrington. So how are you doing?
Yo, what's up, my doctor? Your girl APH is in the building, Armintie Price Herrington. So glad. What a wonderful introduction. I appreciate all the kind words. And yeah, I would not miss this for nothing in the world. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I love your introduction. APH, is that your new nickname? I haven't heard that one before.
They used to call me that in WNBA. They couldn't do Minty, so it was APH. I made sure they had to add that H on there for Reggie we ain't want no problems. So
yes, yeah. we will get to Reggie in a second, but nicknames, APH, Mint, everyone call you Mint. I call you Minty sometimes.
Yeah, Mint.
Yeah.
All the people call me Minty. If you call me Minty, that means you really know me, because a lot of people don't call me Minty.
First of all, like I said, thank you for joining. Again, we know, your background. You're just All-American at Ole Miss, WNBA Draft in 2007. So 2007. And I remember this distinctly because I remember watching you play, and Ole Miss went on this run during the NCAA tournament. Can you just talk about a little bit about your just Ole Miss experience in general, but especially your senior year in that run in the NCAA tournament that you all had?
Okay, yeah. So my 4 years at Ole Miss was amazing. My coaches that coached me, 3 out of the 4 were former Ole Miss Rebels. My head coach, Carol Ross, played at Ole Miss. Peggy Gillum at Ole Miss.
Coach Peggy.
Bill named after her. Renee Ladner was a point guard at Ole Miss. And then Joycelyn McGearberry, she played at Auburn for Coach Ross. So that's how that connection came with her coming. But, when I got to Ole Miss, Coach Carol Ross and staff, they did not recruit me there.
Really?
No. Kim Roseman recruited me to Ole Miss. She was at the time the assistant for Ole Miss.
Okay.
They hired when I got there, so they never did coach me or anything.
Oh, wow.
Going and being assistant at Vanderbilt with Melanie Holcomb. So she was at Vanderbilt for years. Now she's the head coach at Tennessee Tech. So she's been home there in Nashville. Love her dearly. We still talk. We still communicate. She was like a mother to me. If it wasn't for her, I would not have went to Ole Miss. But great years at Ole Miss.
So I have to ask, why did you stay? Was there any part of it that you just say, hey, I want to go? Because generally coaches, you build that bond, you follow the coaches, so to speak.
Well, so a little bit about my background. Grew up in a Christian home. We didn't know a lot about sports, about basketball. We didn't know a lot about leave. We didn't know a lot about traditions or different things like that. I didn't even know about the Ole Miss Mississippi State tradition until I got to Ole Miss. So when coaches, I didn't know I could leave. And then second,
oh wow, okay,
raised me to leave. You got a scholarship at the university, you're going to play at the university. So that was never on my mind to leave. My mind was, okay, now I got to prove to this coaching staff that I deserved a scholarship. I was just grateful, to be honest, for the scholarship, because I knew my mother couldn't afford for me to go to school. So that's all I was thinking about. Earn my scholarship, get my degree, get my books, and get home. That's all I to make my mother and my proud. So my 4 years there were great. Like I said, I wanted to prove myself to the coach. They did allow me. I think I started my freshman year. Had a great freshman year. Our team did really great. We got our first NCAA bid in a long time. My first year, I did become the SEC Freshman of the Year that year. Another second year, we went again to the tournament. Another great year. Third year, we did not. We went to the WNIT. That being, I learned so much as I look back. Even when I coached at Ole Miss, now you see back then when you were a player, what coaches had to deal with, different wanting to play, agendas, thinking about spring break until you become a coach. Now, I was able to see some of that as a player because I was invested as a leader.
Yeah.
I had to be like, we need to be focused. I'm trying to win. I don't know what y'all trying to do. Y'all trying to go compete. So that third went to WNIT. We won a couple games, maybe one or two, but didn't do our best. We got knocked out. So here it is now, my senior year. I'm like, I don't know what's, but I'm telling y'all right now, we coming here guns a-blazing, okay? The goal is to win a championship. But got derailed a little bit because my mom got sick into my senior year. Found out in the summer that she had ovarian cancer. The doctor gave her about 2 months to live. That 2 months was to be exact. And she passed away into going into my senior year. So
how was that processing that, and how did you find out?
Well, I'm the one who took her to the hospital because
really?
I have 5 siblings, but the older 3 were moved away. Me and my younger brother were home, and she just wasn't herself. And how I noticed when I got home one day from school, because we wasn't that far from Ole Miss. That was one reason I chose Ole Miss. We probably stayed maybe 30, 45 minutes from campus.
Oh yeah, that's up the street.
So I went home to visit her, and her arm was really, really big. Now, she was my size, so really small, maybe a size 6, maybe an 8 at the time. And her arm was really big. And so I'm like, Mom, what's going on? She was like, well, I don't know. I've been feeling sick, but I don't think it's anything. She said, the only thing is that it moves from place to place. So when she said that, my first thought was, Lord God, she got cancer.
Really?
Not finding out a little bit after that she knew she had it. She knew she had been sick for probably a year. She just didn't want to tell us,
Really?
So she didn't take any treatment once we all got to the hospital and found out she only had 2 months to live. Her famous words that I'll never forget was, God's will be done. And so I stopped crying because, we talk about death and family and faith, but when your soul is ready, when you feel you're ready, when you feel you've done what God has placed you on this earth to do, and you feel like heaven is your home, why you can't say, God will be done? And I knew after all the suffering she took taking care of 5 children as a single parent, us state to state, I knew it was a lot on her. So she had done all she could, and she was ready to be at rest. I think she passed maybe around August 6th or something, going into my senior year. And I had a decision to make, because my team, they're like, what is Armintie going to do? She going to keep playing, or she going to retire out, or what? But I chose to devote that last year to my mom. And I chose to devote that last year to God as well. Really of saying, God, I can still do this. She taught us well, as a parent, we grow up, reading and believing that your main job is to raise your children in the ways of the Lord. And so my mother did that. She taught us all the word of God. She taught us faith. She taught us perseverance. She taught us God's love. And so now I made it up to myself. I'm going to show you, God, that I can live this life. What, you have for me to do. And I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. Now, I was not perfect. I made some mistakes. I tell people all the time, when you get in college, you're going to make some mistakes. And so but going into my senior year, I devoted that year to her. I felt like God's strength that anything was possible. And along with the coaching staff, they made us feel like we can jump through a brick wall. And when you got coaches too, I believe for me that went to that year, everything was so prideful. When we played teams, I wanted to beat them for my coaches. I used to be like, did y'all beat them when y'all was here? We finna be
right.
And, so I wanted to make them happy as well. I wanted to make them proud. I wanted to make Ole Miss proud. I wanted to make Oxford proud. So I took all that and bottled it. And so senior year, I remember we beat LSU that year with Simone Augustus, Tamika Johnson. I mean, it was so many people on the team. Sylvia Files. We beat so many good teams and players that I ended up playing up against in pro. But I couldn't see anybody. I was just so focused on the task at hand,
Mm.
tournament, of getting as far as we could go, that I was just so focused. And so we did get to the tournament, and it was so funny when they showed a bracket. We at Coach Ross's house, and the first team we had to play, I think, was like TCU. And then the second team was like Maryland. Maryland had just won a championship the year before with Christy Tolliver and her crew.
Mm.
And then I think we end up having to go and play Oklahoma with the Paris twins, the sisters, and then play Candace Parker with Tennessee. So we sent to Coach Ross' house, and like, what did we
Back to
do? Yeah, what did we do to the committee? We love y'all. We said ourselves at Coach Ross' house, we about to shock the world. They gave it to us. We about
wow.
the world. So we played TCU and we beat them. And Maryland, I mean, it was just, we knew everybody in the world was going to be watching. Everybody was
Mm.
Maryland to do a repeat. And so that game was exciting because I could just remember Brenda Free's face just looking like, man, oh man. I believe we played Maryland in like one of them holiday tournaments, like in December. They blew us out. I don't know if it was by 50 or what. So we,
Wow.
and they probably thinking, oh, you're not. Well, you know, at least players is thinking, you know, coaches, we ain't thinking it. We like, y'all don't fall for that. We got it. We beat people. We got Coco. We good. Girl, I don't know what scout report they had up, but they could have shred because it didn't work. So we beat them. It was a great, exciting game. And then we go on to Oklahoma and Dayton, Ohio. And the gym was hot as firecrackers. But that worked out to our favor with the Paris twins because we was going to be running up and down that court. So we beat them, that was so exciting as well. And then we come to the mighty Lady Vols with Coach Ross's dear friend. And when I'm so exhausted,
I bet.
I knew I couldn't push through anymore, but I tried to give as much as I did. I'm pretty sure I still had a double-double and everything else. But we just
Still, even while I'm tired,
we,
double, easy.
we ran out of gas. If we would have had we probably would have beat them. But again, Candace Parker is Candace Parker.
Yeah.
But it was a great game. And then in my mind, I know they probably told us, but I did not even understand if we would have won that game, we would have went to the Final Four. Maybe I could have a little bit more, but I feel like I gave every little ounce that I had. So that was my 4 years at Ole Miss. I enjoyed it. And then like right after the game, you know, they was going to the Final Four. So the players that were picked for the draft, you had to kind of meet up in that area somewhere. I got drafted like on my birthday, April 3rd, somewhere.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
and how was that? How was that moment for you? What was draft day like? Like, did you go to New York? You went in person.
yes.
What did you do from the day in the morning? Like, take us through like what draft day looks like.
For as much as I can. I feel like it was so long ago. But I do remember I did not invite my family because I have 5 siblings. And I was like, I could have so many people to go. And I didn't want any beef. So I said,
why did you choose that one over me?
So I just invited my coaching staff. So all my coaching staff helped me at the table. I think my dad got me a church suit. If you can find a picture, post it because it was hideous. Okay. But back then they weren't dressing like now anyway. So
yeah, it's a different type of fashion, different type of style now.
So I got my suit, and then my roommate was Lindsay Harden. Now this is Lindsay Harden, which I felt like at my time at Ole Miss, I was the defensive player of the year twice. Again, the SEC is the best conference in the world. So why is the problem with me being national defensive player of the year? There should not even been any conversation. Lindsay Harden, national defensive player of the year. She's my roommate at the draft. Yes, girl. So, you know, I'm already like, I know good well this. But it was great. I got to know her. I got to even play with her in the WNBA. She was my teammate with the Atlanta Dream. She was my teammate with the Sparks. It was awesome. So draft day, they announced Jessica Davenport, first pick from Ohio State. Second pick, Lindsay Harden. I'm like, oh, Lord, she done beat me in the picks. Here, beat me. She was second pick. I think Mystics, I think. And third pick, good God Almighty, they said, Price,
Chicago Sky.
Video, you can see my mouth says, oh me, oh my. I could not believe it. I was stunned. I was shocked. But there goes God again, just taking care of me watching over me because I didn't even expect to get drafted. I remember when Coach Ross was telling me my senior year, you may can get drafted. I said, who, me? She was like,
really?
yeah. But that was, to me, that was just God having his hand on me and protecting me and shielding me and giving me an opportunity of a lifetime.
Right.
Letting the world know, hey, I'm still in control, no matter what it looks like. It don't matter what school you come from.
Yeah.
He's still in control. So I enjoyed it, got drafted to Chicago. And another story about Lindsey Hart, and I love this girl. Shout out to her, assistant coach of the LA Lakers. She, during ours, I made it to, I told myself, okay, I didn't get first pick, which that was fine. I didn't even know I was getting third. But I want to be the rookie of the year. That's what I told myself. But I want to be the rookie of the year. That's what I want to be. So, here we go against the season. It's against me and Lindsey Hart.
She just won't go away.
Well, I end up getting rookie of the year. I was so grateful.
Yeah.
It took a lot of hard work. It took a lot of defeating the odds and proving myself. And with Chicago, Scott, I had some of the best veterans. I look at the league now and I think about the vets because they can make or break you. I had some people that got drafted when I did, they didn't have great vets, but I had Chastity Melvin, Gia Perkins, Brooke Wyckoff. I had Candace Dupree. I think she had got drafted really like a couple years ahead of me, maybe one or two. She was one of the sweetest. I love Candace Dupree. Used to fold her clothes so neatly in her locker room. But I really had some great vets around me that embraced me. They wanted me to grow, wanted me to be successful. And I really enjoyed my time there in Chicago. I enjoyed my time in the league. I remember standing next to Lisa Leslie on the free throw line saying, oh my God, you my favorite player in the world. I remember guarding Sue Bird while I was guarding her in Seattle saying, you my favorite point guard. Tina Thompson with the red lips. You are so beautiful. I love you so much.
Like fangirling, but also hooping and competitor at the same time.
I think, in this world, you got to get out the famous. You got to enjoy the moment. I'm letting this moment pass by with me telling these girls, y'all my heroes.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, I can't playing with y'all. And to me, I had a great relationship with almost every player in the WNBA.
That's interesting though, because you talked about like you weren't expecting to go to the WNBA. Having watching Lisa Leslie, Tina Thompson, did you ever have you never had an inspiration to go to the WNBA?
Not come to a town in a Christian home. I never played professionally. Like I said, I didn't know. I just started playing basketball in 8th grade. I was wearing wearing these shirts. Life was just different. So then I started in college, and I think it was my junior year. Coach Ross had me watching Simone Augustus film. She wanted me to shoot like her in the mid range. I needed to get my mid range better. So, and at the time, I think Simone was getting ready to go pro. So I started to follow then the pro players. But I didn't know a lot of them. We didn't have that channel. I don't even know back then, but we didn't have all this stuff. So when I missed, that's when I got more involved in the
exposure. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, man, I wish somebody would find that free throw line picture of me and Lisa Leslie so she can sign it. But I only played, I think, maybe 1 or 2 years with her until she retired, Lisa Leslie.
Gotcha.
I know I played at least 1 year. I don't know if it was 2 years, but I enjoyed. And then it's a long story. Back to that Tennessee beating us in the Elite Eight. Candace Parker ended up winning. Well, Tennessee ended up winning the national championship
that year.
Thank the Lord she stayed another year because she could have exited and that would have pushed my draft back. But so thank the Lord for that. But she stayed an extra year and won her second back-to-back championship, which was Tennessee's last.
Last, yeah. Wow.
Good being into that, that history of life. And then I got a chance to play with her with the Sparks. So that was great too. But play with some great players, man. I tell you, if I could do all that, not the college. College was so hard. If I could pro life all over, I would, just for the experience of the players.
Really?
Player relationship. I enjoyed every game, seeing what superstar I'm gonna play against, like bumping a guard. Oh my God. So I just think you gotta moment. Sometimes we get too big in the moment with our chest puffed out and you don't get, hey, I love you. Like, you're awesome.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my 9 years of playing in WNBA. I enjoyed my time overseas in Israel, Spain, Russia, and Turkey. I wouldn't take nothing for my journey. I don't regret.
Yeah, I'd love to. I love that perspective because you, like you said, a lot of times, particularly, well, just in women's sports, it's so competitive, and to even acknowledge that, oh, a person's good, like, what are you doing? You need to beat them. You need to, automatically just find a way to one up them. But I love the fact that you said, hey, it's okay to appreciate. Like,
we women have to build up each other. This is not the time to tear each other down because at the end of the day, the air in the ball will stop. We have to find another career. We have to be, that entrepreneur, that CEO, whatever, but we can do it because of our skills in the sport. People don't understand that. You learn how to become a leader. You learn how to become accountable. You learn how to fight through adversity. These are all things you need in the real world. So meeting them, compliment them, like living my dream. Like I wanted them to know, like I ain't too proud for an autograph, girl. Can you please sign my shoes? Like me and Sylvia Fowles, that is my son. Played together in Chicago, played against each other at LSU. She won a couple of championships. I went to see her play her last year. We went to Atlanta. She was playing. That was her last year. She was retired. Like I still love these girls, these women, these ladies, and I forever will. I forever will. I enjoyed it. I love it.
Yeah. No, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. I do want to talk a little bit about, or have you talk a little bit about your experience overseas. We talked, this is during my time at Ole Miss, about your time in Spain. Like, what was a favorite or most beautiful place that you've ever played in overseas, or just maybe favorite place and then most beautiful place, or maybe both if they are the same?
My favorite place to play was Spain. I played there the longest, 8 months, I believe. I was there with Mario Page.
Oh, yeah. Coach Page.
Give you two places. I'm gonna give you two places.
Okay.
Favorite because it was the prettiest place. We was on the island of Mallorca. Our team was Mallorca, Solar Mallorca. But to be there with Paige was great. But just waking up on an island, oh my God, I'm in heaven. It was awesome. The team was great. The food was great. So that was like everything was perfect. That's why that was the best place. From the people, the town, Mario Page, the vet being with me, the food, she showed me around. She used to play in Spain all the time. She was talk hives, she would say whatever language. She was just great. Second favorite place could be my first. What would be Israel because I was the Holy Land. I was able to go and see where they say Jesus was laid to rest, his burial. That was amazing. Now, another reason I love Israel, because I was there with Taj McWilliams Franklin, the mama of all vets. Girl, that girl took care. I'm telling you, God bless me with the vets. So when I became a vet myself, you had to treat people right. It was like it was in your blood, not to haze, not to not give great advice, not to want to see them be successful. So McWilliams Franklin, that's my girl to this day. We still talk. Mario Page, that's my girl to this day. Florida Gaylors, Coach Ross, I think, recruited her and coached her at Florida. So you see the connection?
Yeah, for sure.
So crazy. So yeah, those were probably my two favorite places, Israel and Spain.
You talk about this theme of vets and mentor, or what comes to my mind is mentorship. Who are some of the younger players that you have mentored?
The younger players I would say I have mentored would probably be, one of my favorites would probably be Tiffany Hayes. I love Tiffany Hayes. I would either say to Angel McCautry. She was a couple years younger than me, but somebody I grew close to because she was a preacher's kid. So when I left Chicago and got traded to Atlanta, she was somebody that I was able to connect with on that kind of spiritual level. But Tiffany Hayes was somebody that I felt like I wanted to take under my wing and needed to. Now, she came from UConn. She had all the leadership skills she probably needed to, but just kind of letting her know how things go in the league and showing her love, nothing but love. And still playing and doing what she's doing. I'm just so glad she's still out there. Those would probably be the two that I felt like I was able to kind of embrace and love on. Now, Sancho Little was a great vet to me and Erica DeSouza, even though she didn't speak a good English. But we love our post player, Erica DeSouza from Brazil. But yeah, Sancho Little really, when I was in Atlanta, she kind of was my mama figure in Atlanta. I love Sancho Little.
I mean, I see, it seems like this mentor thing, next generation, has been going on to your life, going on. Like, that's the theme that keeps showing up. So coaching, After playing, you go into coaching. Why coaching? I mean, I guess, you know what? I kind of answer my own question with that. You know, it makes this a perfect transition with coaching. How's your experience there, and especially at Ole Miss?
Well, I started coaching when I was playing in the WNBA.
Really?
Yes. So
that's right. You will come back to Ole Miss as assistant. Yep.
I started coaching in 2009. Coach Ladner, who was one of my assistant coaches when I was at Ole Miss, became the head coach when Coach Ross left. She's always saying I'm gonna be a coach. I was like, I ain't coaching them girls, but it happened. So in 2009 was the year before my last stint playing overseas, because instead of me doing WNBA and overseas, I did WNBA and coaching. So this first 4 years coaching was a great lesson for me. And
how come? In what ways?
I always try to use different times in my life. I try to learn the lesson in the time period. There's a lesson in that season. You got to grasp it. If not, you'll learn it in a couple years. So while I was at Ole Miss coaching my first 4 years, now mind you, I'm still playing in the WNBA. So I still got that player mentality of grind, be a dog. You got to earn everything. Well, now that I'm back coaching, these kids are being given so much that they aren't earning enough. And so at this point, my 4 years, the problem that I made was that I took everything personal with these students. That was my problem. That was the first time I learned, don't take stuff personal. But I didn't learn that until I got to LA in the WNBA. I reverted back. But when the players would get mad, or I'll tell them to do something, or they thought they knew, or they wanted a new pair of shoes, I'm like, y'all ain't even dinner. We ain't even won no games. Y'all ain't even been to the tournament. That's how I'm talking to them. And in that coach of let them get the point, man. Don't give them your WNBA response. You done did this. You done went pro. You done help them, teach them. Humble yourself a little bit to get on their level, but still respond in a confident way, because you are right.
Technically, I'm just framing it differently.
Yeah. I'm mentally trying to get on your level. So, but I took it personal. So I would be mad at them. I wouldn't talk to them for a day in practice. I'd be like, nah, you on this, you on that. And I took it personal. So after like 4 years, I said, I'm not coaching no more. I stopped. I said, Atlanta, this ain't for me. These kids are ungrateful. They don't deserve it. They not working hard. But what I was supposed to do was teach them how to do that. Teach them how to be humble. Teach them how to earn. But I was in that pro mindset that I was just like, y'all supposed to come, like, what y'all doing? So
you're supposed to come packaged already.
Yes, like, you're so funny. So I missed the lesson in that moment, but God gave me an opportunity to come back and coach. So I was like, I'm not coaching. I'm going to go back and just play pro, be my professional self, go work. It's my job.
My professional self.
Well, I know this is my job, and I got to get rebounds. I'm not getting these rebounds, and what? You just going to run me? What? I'm still going to have my scholarship. Boo-boo, no, this not his work. You got to work for what you want. Yeah. They want that mind frame, that mind frame right then. So leave coaching. I just start playing WNBA. Within WNBA, I'm like, I'm kind of getting ready to get back home and settle down. I done got married, and I connect back with Ole Miss, and they have a different coach, Matt Insel. And so he had said, man, if you ever want to come back, we're going to welcome you back. I said, okay. So I come back and do SEC Network, get my feet wet with that. I loved it. It was exciting. And then he said, well, look, if you ever want to get closer, I got to player.
Inching your way back.
Player of engagement. Okay, yeah. Get them in the community. That way I can help kind of mold them that way. Let them see the importance of other people, of your fans, of you trying to uplift kids and show them, hey, one day you may be this, you may do this, you can do this in life. So it took that role. Well, then another coach come, Coach Yo. She's the head coach, and she offered me an opportunity to be an assistant coach, which I wanted to get back in it, because now I done learned along the way of how to engage them, or how to kind of show them instead of just kind of demanding it without showing.
Yeah.
And show them how to appreciate, how to earn, how to become a winner. I just learned so much in that break that I had. And how to Not talk about yourself so much. Like, let other people talk about you, and you live in the moment of just being humble and being like, look, I'm just here to help you. I done did my time as a WNBA player. Now it's not about me. That's where I had to get to. Man, it ain't about you no more. You done played pro. You done played, your accolades is everywhere. Now it's about you helping these kids, show them how they can get to where you get. That's what I learned. And then
That's good.
Take it personal. Like when they would say this, I'm like, girl, get on the line. That's what you about. I see you for our academic meeting in a couple hours. And not take it personal because they're childish. They're in college. They don't know. So they're going to say stupid stuff. They're going to do stupid stuff. They're going to not be appreciative. They're going to be big headed, even though they ain't went to the league, even though they won an All-American. I'm like, hey, Coach Mill was an All-American. Were you All-American? Yeah. I was the last 10 best players, they say, in the country. I was an All-American. It was only 10 of us. You won one. So I had to put it aside and be like, look, come into my office where you can see all the stuff on the wall while you talking to me. And I ain't got it. And so
proof is in the pudding.
Yeah. So I learned from my previous coaching years, men, don't take it personal. You coach them hard. You teach them hard. You love them. Because once they feel you love them, the rest is history. They ain't question you. They gonna see. They gonna see, okay, she ain't really worried about herself. She worried about me. It's your time.
You're invested in them at this point. Yeah.
Yes, it's not about Coach Min. It's not about let's stop talking about Coach Min in WNBA. Let's stop talking about what I did. It's about you. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to make all A's? Do you want me to help you? Do you want me to wake you up for class? So it's about me really getting out of myself and humbling myself. Like, okay, I know I'm a pro, but if I got to call you to wake up, if I got to call you so you don't miss practice, that's what I got to do. You know, I had to take a different approach, and I was glad I did because I was able to reach them. And I didn't take stuff personal, you know. So I enjoyed it. I had to go through that time for a reason to learn how to coach and how to reach these children, these kids, these young ladies, and how to show them themselves and let them know you ain't getting nothing in this world without working. And there's always somebody behind you. Who got next? So, you know, why you got this time? Because it's not promised. What if you get injured? You know, you want to be this big shot. People forget you just like they remember you.
Yeah.
And I told her when we talked, what I want to do is get the program back to their winning ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, you know, now Coach Yo's a superstar. She loves what she do. She loves the city of Oxford, and she loves winning. You know, she's a competitor at heart. So I'm happy for her. I always root them on.
Yeah. Now, I love that because it really kind of leads into my next question. You have a lot of mentoring, coaching experience. What was the best advice that the best advice, or what advice have you given, or would you give? I would say this: what advice would you give to young women who are desiring to play college or professional basketball? What is that common theme that you're reminding them?
Yeah, the best advice I will give them will be the first one: don't take it personal. When I say don't take it personal, when that coach is cussing you out, when that coach is making you do something that you don't even understand, don't take it personal. Just know it's for your good. Because a coach needs you to be great so that they can be successful.
Right.
You can say, if you don't work out, if you don't get extra shots, if when I call that play, you don't remember it, if you don't hit that game, then I'm not being successful as a coach. So you got to win so I can win.
Right.
Okay. So don't take it personal. When they get on to you, when adversity come in your life, don't take it personal. Just know it's for your growth. You got to go through it for your growth. My second one will be what Coach Ross used to tell me all the time: control what you can control. You can only control how hard you work. You can only control what time you get up in the morning to make sure you're preparing for the day. You can only control how you eat. You can only control, you know, what you put in between your ears, positivity, affirmation, saying you will be, and then you putting the work behind it. So control what you can control. Don't worry about the naysayers. Don't worry about what they say on social media. Who cares? Block them out. They mean nothing. You know, control your relationship with God so you can control your peace. You can have peace of mind. But the rest of it, if you can't control it, you know, let it go.
Right. No, I love it. I love that. I'll have to ask, I want to pivot a little bit before we wrap up. The midst of your coaching, playing at WNBA, how did you find time to get married and have kids?
Well,
Talk a little bit about the family balance, because I know you come from Mississippi. Well, I won't say just because you're from Mississippi, but the Southern, very family oriented. It's something you said you always wanted to do. How did you balance Reggie and then have the decision to eventually become a mom?
Well, balance, what I've learned is balance is what you call balance. Because everybody balance is different. So I remember playing in LA, and I was telling Candace Parker, of course, she had already had her daughter at the time. I was like, man, I'm trying to have a baby. I'm trying to do. She was like, man, you can have a baby and play. I was like, wow, she's right. But I still didn't want to do that. Now everybody's doing it now. That's what they, they're having a baby, still playing WNBA. And now I appreciate the WNBA having a lot more resources, family rooms and sitters and stuff for people that can still be moms and play. But I really wanted to be present in my family, more present than what I feel like I needed to be in the WNBA. I would say that. So, and when you say find time to get married, girl, you just got to find time. When I got married, it was October, I think, 9th. We had just got done with the finals in Atlanta. We lost, but I told my husband, the latest date we can get married is this date, because that's the end of the championship game,
Right.
So that's what we did. We got married in October, which is not ideal for honeymooning and vacation and all that stuff, but we had to do it. And he was just really, his job was in education. So he was really open to, hey, if you got to do what you got to do, we don't have children, let's make the most of it while we can. So he can save his money and do what he got to do. So we were very focused on making sure we were creating a life for our children. So that was him getting his doctorate, getting his specialist degree. That was me playing as long as I can play so that I can save money, so that when we do come together, we would have something. Then once I decided that, okay, let's get married, let's do this, let's save. Then I was like, okay, I'm ready to come home and be present, be a wife, be more involved with my husband. And then when I have children, I wanted to be there. So that's when the opportunities of Ole Miss became more like, it became more like touchable for me, because I'm like, I can do that. I can be a wife. I can be, So that's what I love, that part. And I've always wanted to be a mother, because how wonderful my mother was. And I always wanted to get married because I always wanted a family, and so to me, that's just how it looked. It looked as a husband. It looked as children. It looked at getting up and making breakfast in the morning and sending them off to school and taking them to camps. That's just what I wanted. I wanted that picture perfect life. I wanted what we see in movies, but we all know everything is not perfect. It's not going to be perfect. But I want as close to it as I can. So, and God has given me just that with my.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you feel like you're close to picture perfect?
I do. I feel like I'm as close as I'm going to get. Because again, things in life you're not going to be able to control. Let's say somebody gets sick. Let's say you got to move here. Let's say jobs change. And then at the end of the day, in different seasons, I talked about this earlier, you're going to want to do different things in life. You're not going to always want to coach. You're not going to always want to do this. You're going to want to do. So that may deter some things. But marriage and family has always been two things that's been consistent on my radar, to make it make sense and to make it work. So I think when you're talking about having a balance, you have to make it work. You got to find that balance. You got to find time when the kids are saying, Mama, can you please get off your phone? Okay, let's go ride bikes.
That's right.
Okay,
yeah.
Let's go watch a movie upstairs. Let's go, you got to find time to go on those dates with your spouse. Still try to do lunch every now and then to keep it going. You got to make time for it to have that balance work. And I'm all for making time, because time is the one thing we don't get back. Right. Before I look up my children to be in high school, before I look up my children to be in college, and I don't want them saying to me, Mom, man, we never really spent time with you. Mom, you never really helped me do this. Mom, I did not and do not want that. I want to be present in my children's lives, because time we don't get back. And again, from my statement that I made earlier, I feel like I have a job to raise my children in the ways of the Lord. I can't raise them. Well, to me, it'd be very difficult to raise them if I'm not present.
Yeah, that's true.
How can I put my imprint on my children if I'm not present?
Yeah.
How can I teach them what's the values of life? How my mom did. That's to me why I am the way I am, still strong in my faith, still how I believe because my mom imprinted that in my life. So when I come to see my children, I don't want somebody else, they auntie, they grandma, to imprint something in them. I want to imprint in them what I've been raised, what I feel like are the values, so that when they go off in the world, they can have that foundation. Like, no, I'm not going to go and do this. I'm going to go and do it. Now, it's because they were raised and taught that way.
Right.
So that's just my viewpoint.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I just, I feel like, well, you're not, I guess, necessarily a mom figure, because we're more like a big sister, because of,
Yeah,
you know,
I
the
would hope
age.
so. I'm not that
I know,
old.
right?
Come on now.
Age. But for those who don't know, as you talk about your Ole Miss experience, that we met, I never forget the day, and we were sitting on the bus.
Tell it, girl.
And
Tell it.
got to testify. We were headed to Alabama, well, Alabama and Auburn. So that's why we were driving, because I think we had like back-to-back road games or something of that nature. And they assigned us like, you know, different seats and stuff. And I thought, you know, I had my name, and it was like Armintie. And I was like, well, I knew you from as a graduate assistant. For those who are listening, I was a graduate assistant at Ole Miss, for Ole Miss women's basketball at the time. And you were doing SEC Network Plus, and I was at radio with Graham. And so I was like, you know, maybe, you know, she's just, I didn't think you were going to be traveling. So I was like, maybe Jalen had put this on there just for whatever. And I saw you come. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I've seen you play in the WNBA. And then, like, being from Mississippi too is like, I understand what you're saying in terms of sometimes dreams can really seem so far-fetched. And I thank God to have, you know, two aunts, well, three that play college, but two aunts that play professional, to have
your
that
famous family, the Bolton family, girl. Yes.
But having that exposure, or else I would have felt like, okay, WNBA, you know, that's just for somebody who, you know, so I kind of understand what you were saying. So to see Ole Miss and the Mississippi State, like college basketball, for what it meant for girls from Mississippi, it meant a lot for me. So to me to have like direct contact, I was like, I remember the NCAA run, and I'm like, I'm thinking I hadn't had much contact with you, so I'm thinking like she's gonna be like stuck up and talking about, you know, I'm a WNBA star, and so I'm just sitting there like, hey, and you're like, girl, what's your name? What's your name? And like literally pinched me, and I was like, oh, she's an extrovert at this point. So I just love, but ever since then, like I felt like we've been pretty much joint at the hip. So I do appreciate, as you talk about your mentorship, it's real, because I've also experienced it, obviously in a different way, not necessarily with playing, but just want to thank you for who you are and just the consistency that you have just been with your faith, because you don't necessarily hear people talk about that, you know, a lot, but the fact that you stood on your values, and I feel like you said, it's been a foundation. So thank you for being that representation for me.
Yeah, I remember that moment like it was yesterday, girl. But I think the reason I am the way I am, mostly because of my faith and my love for God. So you show that love to other people, but life is so short.
Yeah.
For you to be a light in somebody's life is priceless. Like, it's nothing like why not make somebody happy versus you being stuck up? Like, why life is too hard to deal with that? Like, it's already gonna rain tomorrow. Why you got to?
It's already gonna rain, right?
You know, it's almost like I said with the vets. Because they showed love to me, I was able to show love to somebody else. Because I was to you how I was, now you know how to be to somebody else. But it can be a cycle the other way. You could be rude to somebody, and then they're going to be rude to somebody else and rude to somebody. Like, how can we break the cycle? Like, let's just be happy. Let's have more friendships. Let's have more sister bonds versus people feeling like they jealous of each other or tearing each other down. Like, ain't nobody got time for that. You know, there's a hell in the heaven. You know, I'm trying to go not down. You know, so yeah,
that's a good way
I
to put
enjoyed that. The way, like I said, that's a season, that's a moment God put in our lives for us to meet each other during that time.
Absolutely.
And me knowing of your family because of the singing and the CDs and the songs, like, oh my God, the Bolton family, and then me and your aunt Ruthie Bolton in the WNBA, like her muscles, like, oh my God, Auntie, just the connection, all that brought, you know. And then Coach Ross, I think, coach your aunties.
At Auburn, before she came to Ole Miss. Yeah, it was
everything comes just full circle. So, you know, I appreciate that moment and still, you know, cherish our friendship, because we all are out here for somebody else besides ourselves.
Yeah.
Who has God assigned you to? And if he assigned you to somebody, how did you handle that relationship? Were you rude? Were you nice? You know, the impact that you have on somebody's life.
How did you handle it?
It's gonna impact them. You know, you want to impact them in a good way. So that's what I make sure I'm doing. I want to impact everybody I come in contact with on a positive note. I want to treat others as I want to be treated.
Listen, I love it. I mean, I think you really kind of have answered my last couple of rapid fire questions, but I'll ask them anyway, just in case you have a different answer.
Okay.
Actually, I'm going to start with this one. Favorite song that you used to listen to before a game?
I don't have a favorite song. I can say favorite artist because I listen to gospel nonstop. I can go in my car right now, shuffle my Apple Music, and my children probably know every song just like I do because I play them all the time.
Uh,
So I will probably say, when I come to artists listening, Kiara Sheard, of course. Let's see. Do you know J Moss? You ever heard of J Moss?
Oh, I know J Moss. Yes,
Okay.
of course.
We got the Clark sisters. Got
Someone else mentioned them.
Miranda Curtis. Oh my gosh, I'm in her
Yes.
spirit right now. That girl got a new CD out. I think it came out last year. But Miranda Curtis, she be on some stuff. She be on some good stuff. And one more, let's see. Ty Tribbett, of course, everybody liked them. Mary, of course, everybody liked them. Who got a? Somebody got a. Man, I can't look it up, but it's a song right now. I'm gonna give you a quartet.
Okay.
Lisa Knows and the Brown Singers, I think. They got a quartet song out called, I think it's God Keeps His Promises or Promises. Girl, that song. Yeah, what? Yes, it's so good. And then another one by, I can't think of his name. It's called Double. I think it's Double for Your Trouble. But I can't think of the artist's name, the gospel artist's name. But me and my children have been bumping it. Just songs of motivation. God gonna give you double for your trouble. Everything you've been going through, He's finna turn it around and give it to you double. And then the one Keeps His Promises by Lisa Knows is God keeps His promises. He promised to give you joy. He promised to give you peace. That's one thing we can't forget is God is the only one that's not gonna fail us. You go ahead and put your trust in man if you want to. Man is gonna fail you. But God keeps His promises. So those been the ones lately I've been listening to. Yes,
I love it. How can people follow you if they want to know more about your story? Just, just get to know Armintie Price Herrington.
Well, I'm on Twitter. Excuse me, it's called X now. That's my name, at Armintie, at ARMINTIE. I'm also on old school Facebook. Again, my name, Armintie Price Herrington. I was on Instagram when I was coaching, but I got off that. So those are the only two ways really you can keep up with me is X and Facebook. Yeah. Well, right now I'm a broker manager. I consult people with insurance. So I'm a licensed Medicare agent. I help people with Medicare. I help people with life insurance. I help people with health insurance and with investing. So that's what I'm doing right now in Grenada, Mississippi, with a company named Bell and Associates Consultant Firm. They're based out of Tupelo, Mississippi, and they started an office here in Grenada, Mississippi. It'll be 2 years in September. So that's what I'm doing now. Broker manager, consultant. So if you need me, anybody in your family need me, just give me a call, 662-520-3571.
Hey, y'all heard it from her. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome, girl. You're welcome. You're welcome.
I appreciate it. And just know that you're always welcome back on the show. Thank you for dropping gems and just share your knowledge and your wealth of knowledge and just your spirit, your love, your just joy. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Hotty toddy and God bless.
Ballin' with Brett, we shoot nothing but net. Work hard for what you want, you